Pyramids of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, situated at Giza in Egypt. It is 4,500 years old and of the seven wonders of ancient world still stands. It was built by the Egyptians in 3rd century BC. The Great Pyramid was built to honor dead pharaohs. It was created to honor the pharaoh Khufu, while smaller pyramids were built to honor Khufu's wives and family members. Ancient Egyptians believed that life continues after death in a form similar to that experienced on Earth. The Great Pyramid is 230 meters long and 150 meters high. Around 100,000 slaves worked for 20 years to complete this structure. Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The city of Babylon was most magnificent of the ancient world. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon was built by King Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled the city for 43 years starting in 605 BC. The gardens were built to cheer up his homesick wife Amytis because she came from a land which was green and mountainous, and she found the flat, sun-baked terrain of Mesopotamia depressing. So, the king decided to recreate her homeland by building an artificial mountain with rooftop gardens. The terraces rested upon cube-shaped pillars which were hollow and filled with earth. White marble staircases leads to the terrace which were filled with stone, flower beds that was full of lush green trees and magnificent flower shrubs. Mountains and waterfalls on the top terrace watered the hanging gardens. But now only the remains of a well and 1 or 2 stones are left. Mausoleum. Mausoleum is situated in the city of Halicarnassus on the Aegean Sea in southwest Turkey. King Mausolus with his wife Artemisia ruled over the city Halicarnassus for 24 years. The king died in year 353 BC. As a tribute to him, Queen decided to build the most splendid tomb. The Uskupas was the man who had supervised the rebuilding of the temple to Artemis at Ephesus, also contributed in this tomb. The building was 42 meters high. Bottom of the structure was a solid marble, then was Greek columns with a top like a pyramid. On the very top was a large stone sculpture of Mausolus Artemisia standing in a chariot pulled by 4 horses. Special about this building was that the statues were not of gods but of people and animals. Pharaohs at Alexandria. It is situated at Alexandria, a city in Egypt founded by Alexander the Great in 332 BC. Pharos was the great lighthouse of Alexandria. After the death of Alexander in 323 BC, new ruler Ptolemy Soter completed the city. Under his rule, the city became rich and prosperous. Pharos became an important center of trade and commerce. As the number of trade ships were increasing so as to guide them, some kind of mechanism was required. So, Ptolemy authorized the building of the lighthouse in 290 BC. It took 20 years to complete. Pharos became the first lighthouse in the world. Since it was built on the island of Pharos, the building itself acquired the name. The lighthouse was designed by Sosthenes of Knidos. Pharos stood for 1500 years but was damaged by earthquakes and finally sunk into Mediterranean Sea. Colossus of Rhodes. Island of Rhodes in Greece is located at the entrance of the harbor of the Mediterranean where the Aegean Sea meets. The Colossus of Rhodes is a giant of Helios, patron god of the island. It was built by Rhodians around 304 BC to celebrate their victory over the great king Demetrius. The statue was made from bronze which was melted from the war machines left behind by the king after war. The statue was 33 meters high, which stood upon 15 meters pedestal. The construction of the Colossus took 12 years and was finished in 282 BC. The statue stood at the entrance of harbor for many years. Then an earthquake hit Rhodes and the statue collapsed. The city was badly damaged and the Colossus was broken at its weakest point, that is, Statue of Zeus. A statue of Zeus located on the western coast of Greece in a region called Peloponnesus. The Olympics were first started in 776 BC and held at a shrine of Zeus, the king of all Greek gods. The shrine of Zeus was simple in the early years, but as time went by and the importance of games increased, need of a new large temple arose. Between 470 and 460 BC, construction of a new temple was started. A magnificent statue of Zeus was built by the great sculptor Phidias. It was made of ivory and accented with gold plating. The sculpture was 12 meters high, in which Zeus was seated on a magnificent throne of cedar wood inlaid with ivory, gold, ebony, and precious stones. There was a small statue of a Nike, goddess of victory, in Zeus' right hand, and in his left hand a shining scepter on which an eagle perched, crowned with an olive wreath, had flowing hair, a bushy beard, and moustache with long ends. Today, we can see the remains of that magnificent statue. Temple of Artemis. The temple is located in the ancient city of Ephesus, near the modern town of Selçuk, about 50 kilometers south in Turkey. It was the center of worship in the ancient world of the goddess Artemis, who is also known as Diana. During the 1st century BC, was a very important and prosperous city. It became the hub of all economic activities. Large sum of money were deposited in the temple from every part of Asia. Even kings used to deposit their money. The temple's foundation was rectangular in structure. The building was made up of marble with a decorated facade and a spacious courtyard. There was a high terrace of approximately 80 meters, that is 260 feet, by 130 meters, that is 430 feet, marble steps and a huge platform. There are many works of art and sculptures with 4 ancient bronze statues of Amazons.